Good evening, everyone. This presentation is a public confession of my immense stupidity. It seems that since I left university, the whole world has changed, and I did not notice it. Phew. So yes, it's the end of the business world as we know it, or at least as I knew it. When I left university, there was time for later. Later I was going to be rich, I was going to be happy, I was going to be famous, I was going to do this, I was going to do that. Later was a word I believed in, and probably the worst assumption I made in my whole life. When I was 22, the exception was when you made it before the age of 40. Man, what a mistake I made, believing I had time for later. This has absolutely, fundamentally changed. There is no later anymore. And when I look at those young faces and their net worth, well, probably I got something wrong. So forget about business, right? Maybe I could have opted for science, but science is no exception. Great inventors, Nobel Prize winners, all made their biggest contribution before the age of 40. But take our fellow François Anglais. He wrote his famous paper on the boson when he was what? 31 years old. So what has changed? What has changed really so that you only have so little time right after graduation to make it or not to make it? Right? We're in June, so I'm sure there are many people in this room who believe that they just completed the hardest part of work that they could do in their life by getting their diploma. You guys are wrong. The hardest piece is yet to come, and it's coming to you very, very, very fast. So let me show you how fast is fast these days. And let me show you also how this is an incredible opportunity for you, but also an incredible threat. So you want to make money selling stuff? Good idea. Well, this is what you studied in gray, right? This is a typical bell-shaped adoption curve with clearly defined market segments, where first you sell to the innovators, and then later, well, that's a wrong word, later you sell to the laggards, right? You studied that, right? But no, that's wrong. Today we live in a world in orange, where successful innovations take off suddenly, or don't take off at all. They reach a climax, and then they fall down as fast as they climbed up. You don't believe me? Well, look at that. These are the sales figures from Microsoft Kinect. Microsoft sold 8 million units in the first 60 days, which made it the fastest selling consumer electronic device in history. After 6 months, the sales started dropping, and it was time within 10 months for another innovation. Do you recognize that pattern? Well, you probably have one in your pocket. iPhone sales. iPhone 4, 4S, 5, 5S, and in September, coming number 6. Within a time frame of what? 10 to 12 months. Why is that? Because it seems that today, only rapid innovation satisfies us. So what has changed really? What pushes us towards always more speed? Well, I see 3 reasons for that. First are the machines. Machines are getting faster, cheaper, and more efficient day by day. You think you're smart and that you can win as a quiz show? Right? I'm sure you can. But Watson, a computer developed by IBM, won 3 times in a row at Jeopardy. And as I speak, and you don't know that because you watched the video, machines like 3D printers or 4D printers, I heard, are making new and better machines. So machines are making better machines. That has changed. That did not exist when I graduated. Second are those web applications, now available to anyone with what, a $50 smartphone? So let me ask you a question. Who doesn't have a smartphone? Right, you don't have a smartphone. And your name is? All right, we won't tell her name. So except for you guys all have now access to information and knowledge for free with Google and Wikipedia. Amazon has destroyed for you distance. It ships anything, anywhere. You connect to the world for free because you use Skype and you use WhatsApp. And even time has been destroyed. Think about the time it takes for an information to get from the reality into your pocket. It gets delivered by Twitter in less than 10 seconds after reality. In my young age, Why you had to go on CNN and there was breaking news. Now today there's no breaking news anymore. You have the news in your pocket. So that has changed. That has fundamentally changed. Is this information, distance, communication, and time that have been leveled by technology. So machine and technology have evolved. What has also evolved is the increasing access to high-quality education. Once the privilege of European and Americans, now you have 100,000 MBA that graduate each year. All of them competing with you. So you should read this, which MBA is going to be recruited? Me? Or another one out of 100,000 that just graduated this year? If I were you, I wouldn't like hearing that. So, let me be helpful. What I want to focus on now, the only thing I want to do with you now is help you answer that question. What can we do about it? So I will try to give you a few ideas for your business. First, for your business, build tents. Don't build pyramids. The whole idea of this massive company concentrating all its assets in one place like a pyramid is dead. The reality is that the markets move faster than companies. So should you. You should be able to deploy your talent in 2 seconds and start developing your business. Think about apps. Apps connect to their customer directly through their smartphone and start generating cash. No factory, no supply chain, no delay to the money. Another example, Uber. Uber disrupted fundamentally the whole taxi business, and they have no cars and they have no drivers. Well, that's smart. So, my advice, be light, be disruptive. Be like the 2-second tent from Decathlon than the pyramid from Akhenaton. Well, that's probably a better word, but all right, this one will do. That's my first advice to you. Be light, be agile, be disruptive. And please, don't plan your career because you won't have one, especially you without a smartphone. You won't have one. This is the one thing we keep on doing while it has completely lost its relevance. We plan our career so that in 10 years we can have a fancy title and drive a German car. This is nonsense. This is old school. Today, I told you, the markets move faster than the companies, and the company made their structure evolve much faster than in the past. So, lifetime employment, long-term loyalty, even over time, I reckon that the term of employee might fade out. So, my advice here is this one thing we don't do enough of, not even close to, is to reinvent ourselves every day and find new ways to get better at what we do best. Please, realize that, understand that, and don't go for the career. And on your first day of your career or of your job, if you are told that you are going to work with Jan, Koen, and Karin, please pause for a second and listen again, because you might just as well be working with Jan, Koen, and Karim. Same talent, different culture, maybe a different location. Today, your colleagues, all they need to work or compete with you is an IP address. They don't need an office next to yours. And this is the first time in history that we are able to pool so many resources from several places across the globe and work together. Please make good use of that. So, in your future role as managers, my advice is focus on make people successfully work together. As Leah told you, my business, Blue Corp, we help IT companies source developers in Sri Lanka. My customers, they know how to develop software. This is their job. And my developers, they know how to develop software. That's their education. I give you confidence. They suck at communicating with each other. So what we do, day in, day out, we bridge the culture. We help people communicate and make them work together. And this is something you can do. You can be that person, because no machine or app can do that. You can be the person who knows how to work with Jan, Koen, and Karin, and also knows how to work with Jan, Koen, and Karim. And trust me, you will need both of them to succeed if you want to win the heart, soul, and love from your customers. Well, talking about your customers, engage with them, connect with them. You know, we live in a connected world. The fact that we live in a connected world has that consequence that the whole decision-making process is now completely transparent. Because you know at every moment what anyone else thinks. There's no way to hide from the truth. Let me give you an example. How do you choose a restaurant? Well, in the past, what you did, you opened a book that was written 6 months ago where somebody had decided for you, somebody you don't know, that that restaurant was worth a Michelin star. You don't do that anymore. What you do, you go on Yelp, you check the restaurant review, you chat with your Facebook friends to see who has been recently to that restaurant, you check on Google if it's conveniently located, you book the table and open the table. And if what you ate was not good, well, you go back to Yelp and say, well, that was crap. That's how you do it. So the bad restaurants will not survive the social networks, the bad businesses neither. So what you should be doing to win the heart, soul, and love of your customers is engaging with them. Get a Twitter account and start tweeting now about what you can do to serve them best. And all that is going so fast that my advice is give up perfection. Don't be perfect. You don't have to. Even the product that we're getting those days are not perfect anymore. They're good enough, and there is a planned upgrade. When you buy software from Microsoft, it's good enough, but there will be a planned upgrade. Same for iOS, same for app. Many things are like that. This is excellent news. Because this applies to you as well. You don't have to be perfect. You have to be fast. You have to be smart. You have to be agile. And improve next time. This is the new norm in which we evolve. All right. What do you think? Are you ready to cope with this change? Are you ready for that? I did not invent any of this. I just compiled facts that made me think that if you are going to succeed, you don't have to be the strongest. You don't have to be the most intelligent, but you certainly have to be the one most responsive to change. And with that information, I am sure there is someone in this room who will be rich, happy, famous, and well before the age of 40. I wish that person and all of you every success. Good night and good luck.